All right, so real quick, I just wanted to go over my experience so far with the Creating Coding Career SkillBridge. I'm currently transitioning out of the military and decided to do a SkillBridge specifically in coding. I'm also currently pursuing a computer science degree and am about halfway through that. So the SkillBridge program I chose was Creating Coding Careers. And in my case, it's 4 months long and it's entirely remote. And I just want to discuss, so far my experiences is with the program, as well as like what the day-to-day life is with it, so that, if you're considering going through this program, you more or less know what to expect already. So day starts off at 08 Pacific time. In my case, since I live in Kansas, it's 10 a.m. for me. And you start off from that first hour, so from 8 to 9, or in my case, 10 to 11. Do a quick code challenge on the site called Code Wars. This is the last one we did. You'll typically do this in a pair, like with somebody else, over Zoom. And then, you'll just go through the problem, read it, and then make sure you read the test just so that you know what the output's supposed to be, what your input and your output's supposed to be. And then, you just try and solve it, work through it with your partner, and then just test and test and test until you come up with a solution. In this case, this was the solution I came up with last time. It'll show it, if you've had a successful solution. You're given about 45 minutes to do that, and then the last 15 minutes, so from 8:45 to 9, somebody will randomly get chosen to present their answer. And if they didn't, let's say they weren't able to solve it, at least explain their thought process and what they were thinking of doing. So that's the first hour. And then after that, you submit one of these daily. It's called a standard report, and it's pretty much where you just say, this is, as you can see here, what I did yesterday and what I'm going to do today. And then here you pick, which course you're currently working on. There's a lot. It's a pretty robust course for sure. In my case, I'm currently working on React 100, so beginner React JavaScript. Right, so you click that, and then click which project you're working on within that module. In my case, I'm currently working on this one. I'm towards the end of the that course, which is where is it? There you go. The very simple to do app. That's where I'm currently at. And then you just, it doesn't have to be in depth. What I did yesterday, I worked on very simple to do app. What will you do today? Continue working. And then here you just put this if you're stuck on anything. And then you submit it. That's your standard report. You typically want to do that right after the code challenge. So at around 9:30, again, I'm 2 hours ahead. So like 10:30 for me, we'll do what's called a stand-up meeting, where everyone hops on Teams, and then everyone just goes off one by one saying pretty much what they said in the standard report. Everyone just takes their turn, like a good maybe 30 seconds, just to say, hey, I worked on this yesterday. Today I'm going to work on this, and that's all. And then the instructors will, at the end of that, the instructors will go over a few announcements. And it's a very on you course. Like, it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Independent and autonomous. Like, everything's really on you. After the instructors are done with their announcements, and the stand-up meetings usually don't last more than half an hour, and it's pretty much just on you to work on whatever it is that you're working on. Everyone breaks for lunch at noon. Again, in my case, that'd be 2 p.m. And you get an hour for lunch, and then everyone comes back in the afternoon at 1 o'clock. Again, in my case, 3 o'clock. And the instructors will go over some more announcements, and then again, they'll leave you to work on whatever it is you're working on. So this is the program. Now, all of these first pages are the pre-apprenticeship. It's recommended that if you're going to do this, and I wish I had done this, do all these courses before you start your actual SkillBridge, and you'll be way ahead of the game. But I didn't do it, so that was a mistake on my part. But if you really grind, you can get through all this pre-apprenticeship program within like a week. But it's going to be pretty miserable there, but you can do it. But again, I strongly recommend doing this before starting the actual SkillBridge. Yeah, you can read through these. Hacking the Bootcamp, Ops 99, Computational Thinking, JavaScript Basics, Developer Up and Running, Professional Skills, Unlocking Your Earning Potential, Preparing for Your First Job, Design Thinking, Intermediate JavaScript, and then HTML, CSS, JavaScript Speedrun. So that's the pre-apprenticeship, and the actual apprenticeship is these next 2 pages, and these courses, they're long. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, these are pretty, they're pretty intensive for sure. So the first one focuses on front end stuff, Web 1 and 2, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you got back end, Node 101, Introduction to Server-Side JavaScript, and then what I'm currently working on, React, beginner React. Once I finish this up, I should be done with React within the next few days. I'll move on to this course. Ops 200, building and deploying apps. And then you got DB 100, focuses on MySQL. More, more database stuff, more back-end stuff, and then getting more in depth with React is your last course. It's a lot of projects for each course. And then yeah, here's your page where you go to my courses. I'm currently working on React 100. I'll just show you React 100, what it looks like, so you guys can get an idea. So it starts off with some academic material and overview of React, pre-assessment to see where you're at, and then just some reading where you take notes on stuff, ES6 syntax, MVC architecture, model view controller. And then from here, you start your projects. React first steps. This was actually, this wasn't really a project. This was just a couple of follow along lessons on this site called Scrimba. Highly recommend it. It's a great learning platform. This was your first project, was the tic-tac-toe project, mortgage calculator, change calculator, React Hotspots. This one I'm currently working on right now, very simple to do at. And hackathon, which is your own custom project. And then you got an assessment at the end, which I already did that. I just want to get ahead of the game. Now, once you're done with each project, you want to make sure you document it well, you style it, and obviously making sure that all the tests pass, because each project has built-in tests that need to pass for the project to be done properly. And if you're having trouble passing a test, you can always hit up the instructors anytime. They're really good about helping you out whenever you need it. They're good about responding quickly. And after that, you push that up to your GitHub profile. I'll show you guys Node 101 real quick. For Node 101, again, pre-assessment, some academic content to take some notes on. First project, Express Server, then Movie Finder, log all things, very simple to do, app API. I really like the course, and I would recommend it, but I guess the one problem is that the learning curve is pretty steep. So for Node and React, you'll learn, you'll get a basic overview of what those things are, and then you're immediately expected to build projects. So the learning curve is pretty steep. But other than that, I'd say I enjoy the course. But a lot of it's on you, using Googling, using Stack Overflow, reading the documentation. It's a very on you kind of SkillBridge, where there's not much class instruction. I mean, there is, but there isn't much. A lot of it's, you're expected to go out of your way, learn the stuff, build these things on your own, and then if you need help, you obviously hit up the instructors. But yeah, that's pretty much Creating Coding Careers SkillBridge in a nutshell. I'll document my experiences as I progress further along the course. But yeah, that's all. Any questions, let me know in the comments.